How to look classy without trying too hard, effortless and expensive. How to look classy without trying too hard begins with one question. Why do some women radiate quiet luxury in jeans, while others feel invisible in the latest trends? The answer isn't luck. It's intentional grace. In this video, I'll walk you through the choices that unlock that presence. And before we close, you'll hear the single secret that makes elegance effortless. Insight 1. The posture-energy connection. Why upright presence looks wealthier than labels. Posture is one of the most silent yet powerful languages you carry with you. It speaks long before your words do, shaping how others perceive your energy and even how you feel about yourself. A slouched back, a bent neck, or hurried, uneven steps often tell the story of fatigue, stress, or low confidence. Without saying a word, they can reduce the impression of strength and grace you want to project. But when you stand tall, shoulders open, chin gently lifted, your body communicates vitality and balance. Think of it as your living frame. How you hold yourself makes even the simplest outfit feel intentional and elevated. A plain white tee with upright presence will always look more dignified than a designer blouse weighed down by poor posture. You see this in everyday life: the commute on a train, standing in line at the checkout, or meeting friends for coffee. The woman who moves with calm balance appears composed, grounded, and somehow wealthier, not because of what she's wearing, but because of how she carries herself. That's the kind of richness you don't buy, you practice it. Insight 2. Neutral tones as signals of self-assurance, not lack of color. Neutral tones have a quiet strength about them. Shades like beige, cream, navy, or charcoal don't compete for attention. They suggest stability, balance, and a certain maturity. They create the sense that you're not trying to impress with loudness, but with intention. That's why in fashion psychology, neutrals are often linked to composure and refined taste. The misuse comes when people treat neutrals as an excuse for dullness. Grabbing the first gray sweater and black pants without thought isn't elegance. It's laziness disguised as simplicity. True refinement comes when neutrals are chosen deliberately and paired with harmony. Beige melting into cream, navy lifted by crisp white, or charcoal softened with taupe. These combinations whisper intention rather than shout randomness. Think of 2 everyday moments: stepping into a professional meeting where everyone is assessing presence beyond words, or sitting at brunch with friends where style becomes part of your unspoken confidence. In both, neutrals project calm, grounded assurance. They tell the world you are centered, thoughtful, and in control of your choices. And that kind of subtle confidence always reads as expensive. Insight 3. The science of slower movements. Why rushing makes you look cheap. There's a science to pace. Studies on nonverbal communication show that slower, deliberate movements are often read as confidence and authority, while frantic gestures signal nervousness or lack of control. Moving too quickly, fumbling with a bag, rushing through a doorway, or darting across a street diminishes elegance. It gives the impression of being scattered, as though life is pulling you rather than you guiding it. True refinement lies in slowing down, not dragging, but choosing a rhythm that feels unhurried and intentional. Pouring water without spilling, placing your bag gently rather than tossing it, or walking into a restaurant with measured steps. These are all small, everyday acts that speak volumes about your inner state. Think about it. The woman who takes her time to move with ease always feels more grounded, more expensive, more magnetic than the one rushing to catch up. This isn't performance, it's presence. And when your body language suggests calm pacing, the world reads it as quiet confidence, proof that you are in control of your energy, your choices, and your life. Insight 4. Texture layering. Cotton against silk versus polyester's instant giveaway. Clothing speaks not just through color or cut, but through texture. The way fabrics touch the skin and catch the light creates an unspoken signal of quality. A crisp cotton shirt under a silk scarf or a soft cashmere cardigan feels instantly refined because natural fibers carry depth and breathability. They don't just look better, they sound better when they move, and they wear better over time. The mistake many make is piling on low-quality fabrics that flatten the entire look. Polyester stacked on polyester may seem practical, but it often gives off a shiny synthetic glare that no amount of styling can disguise. Instead of layering for richness, it cheapens the whole outfit. Elevating your presence comes from combining textures thoughtfully: linen with cotton in warmer weather, silk against wool in colder months, or denim softened by a lightweight cashmere knit. These choices create dimension that's both subtle and luxurious. Think of yourself in a simple cotton shirt paired with a cashmere cardigan during brunch or while walking through a bookstore. No logos, no shouting labels, yet the richness is undeniable. Texture layering is how you build quiet luxury with your hands, not your wallet. Insight 5. Voice calmness as invisible luxury. Tone that shapes perception. Your voice is one of the most overlooked signals of refinement. Long before people weigh your words, they absorb your tone. A calm, measured voice communicates composure, while a rushed, sharp, or overly loud tone often suggests stress, insecurity, or lack of self-control. It's why two people can say the exact same sentence, but one sounds grounded and persuasive, while the other feels abrasive. The misuse happens when the voice mirrors agitation. Speaking too quickly in a meeting, snapping at children, or raising volume unnecessarily in casual conversation can undo even the most polished appearance. Elegance collapses when your tone works against your presence. The elevation comes with practicing stillness in speech, pausing briefly before responding, lowering volume instead of raising it, and letting your words flow with steady pacing. Picture a work negotiation where your measured tone keeps the room attentive, or a moment at home guiding your children where calmness builds trust rather than fear. Even in a relaxed chat with friends, your voice can create an aura of ease. When tone aligns with grace, your voice stops being just sound. It becomes the quiet luxury people remember. Insight 6. Micro-expressions of contentment. How serenity outshines accessories. The face communicates more than any outfit ever could. Tiny expressions, what psychologists call micro-expressions, are constantly signaling your inner state. A tense jaw, furrowed brows, or pursed lips can add years to your appearance, projecting stress and strain even when you don't speak a word. These unconscious cues quietly work against the image of elegance you want to embody. The shift comes when you cultivate serenity in your expressions. A gentle smile, softened eyes, and a relaxed forehead communicate contentment, patience, and self-assurance. These subtle gestures can make you look more approachable and magnetic than the most expensive jewelry. Research even shows that people who display calm, positive micro-expressions are consistently rated as more trustworthy and likable, regardless of age or background. Picture yourself in everyday moments, listening closely during a conversation, waiting in line at a cafe, or sitting on a park bench. In these ordinary settings, serenity becomes your accessory. It's not about plastering on a grin, but allowing your natural calm to surface. That softness tells the world you're at peace with yourself, and that quiet, unshakable presence will always outshine any accessory money can buy. Insight 7. Single statement piece versus cluttered abundance, the scarcity effect. In style, less often carries more power. A single statement piece, a classic watch, pearl earrings, or a tailored blazer, can anchor your entire presence. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. The fewer times something is used or displayed, the more weight and value it holds. One intentional choice commands attention because it signals thoughtfulness rather than excess. The misuse comes when accessories pile up. Layering multiple necklaces, overloading rings, or wearing bold patterns with loud jewelry doesn't amplify elegance. It dilutes it. The eye doesn't know where to focus, and what could have felt refined instead feels restless. Abundance, in this case, erases impact. Minimalism with meaning changes everything. Choosing one standout element communicates clarity and restraint. That pearl earring in a professional meeting, the tailored blazer at brunch, or the sleek watch during a casual dinner, each tells a story of intentionality without saying a word. Scarcity in style reflects inner composure. It shows you don't need to overprove your worth through things. Instead, one meaningful accessory speaks volumes about value, maturity, and quiet assurance. And that's what makes it look not only classy, but timeless. Insight 8. Well-kept shoes as subconscious status anchors. Shoes are often the first detail people notice without realizing it. They function as silent anchors of status, shaping how the rest of your outfit is perceived. A well-cut dress paired with scuffed or worn-out shoes creates a disconnect, almost like a sentence ending abruptly. Neglected footwear quietly betrays the effort you put into everything else. The misuse lies in thinking shoes are secondary, that they don't matter as much as the dress or the bag. In reality, they carry symbolic weight. Research in consumer psychology even suggests people subconsciously use footwear to assess traits like reliability, income, and attention to detail. Poorly kept shoes can unintentionally broadcast the opposite of what you mean to communicate. The elevation comes through care: polished leather, clean soles, and intact heels. It's not always about designer labels, it's about maintenance. Imagine stepping into a professional networking event with shoes that shine subtly under the lights, or arriving at a casual dinner with friends where your footwear quietly reflects self-respect. Shoes tell a story before you do. When they are well kept, that story is one of discipline, taste, and understated class. Insight 9. The air gap rule: leaving breathing space in styling. True class often comes from what you don't fill. The air gap rule in fashion is about leaving space, breathing room between the body and the fabric, so that clothing flows instead of suffocates. This isn't about baggy clothes, but about intentional balance. A blouse with gentle drape tucked into tailored trousers creates a natural rhythm, allowing movement and lightness. The misuse shows up in clothing that clings too tightly. Overfitted dresses, trousers that pull, or tops without give can flatten elegance. Instead of suggesting confidence, they communicate tension. Elegance collapses when clothes look like they're fighting the body rather than harmonizing with it. The elevated approach is styling that allows subtle flow: a blazer that skims instead of squeezes, skirts with ease of movement, or pants that taper without strangling the leg. These air gaps create balance, letting the eye rest on proportion rather than distraction. Think about casual lunches, office meetings, or walking through a gallery, settings where comfort and class intersect. Space in your clothing doesn't signal carelessness, it suggests freedom, refinement, and self-respect. Breathing room in style mirrors breathing room in life. Bonus point: ritualize grooming habits that radiate control without effort. Grooming is not about occasional polish, it's about discipline woven into your daily rhythm. When care for your skin, nails, and hair becomes habitual, it stops feeling like effort and starts radiating quiet control. The misuse is treating grooming as something to catch up on only before an event, which often shows as inconsistency. Elevation comes from making it a ritual. Early mornings spent gently caring for your face, trimming nails, or keeping hair neat form small acts that compound into visible luxury over time. Think of it as invisible armor. You step into the day knowing you are aligned with yourself before anyone else sees you. Those who stayed with me until this point are the heartbeat of this community, and I thank you deeply. Your presence here shows you value growth, refinement, and the kind of elegance that begins within. If you're here right now, drop the word grace in the comments so I'll know you stayed with me fully. That single word is your signature of belonging in this space. Like this video to support the community we're building together, and subscribe if you'd like daily content designed to nurture your growth. Share this with someone who values refinement as much as you do. It may be the encouragement they need today. I thank you warmly for your time. Watch the recommended video waiting on your screen, and until then, know this: your journey to elegance is already unfolding. I'll see you tomorrow.